seed to bloom, it has to be in the dark soil.
Fucking bully. Oh, man.
You've been with us, and see you next month.
Alrighty, and we're live. Let's go. Welcome everybody. Tonight with me is ABDALLAH ALHADIDI in a talk show number 61. Damn, we're working like a little bees. Hello Abdallah, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Did I pronounce your name correctly?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now I need to train to pronounce your name.
All right.
Yarning.
Perfect. You nailed it. All right, I see something. I'll move you a little bit over. All right, cool, awesome. Yeah, so we will check what your passion is. Really interested and how like how you dealt with being growing up in a part of the world that I'm not familiar with. Like I know where United Arab Emirates are and where Dubai is. I know a couple of people living there. My brother, he likes to go to vacation there, so that is as much as I know. A little bit that the Muslim is the main religion, but that's kind of it. So I'm really looking forward to tonight's show and how it is for you guys growing up there. So anything you want to say before we start?
Well, thank you very much for this opportunity to really explore also your part of the world. Like I realized also today that I'm not I don't know that much about Slovenia and what's going on there, like what it is, part of what is like. I love the opportunity. Thank you for it. And looking forward to have an really inspirational and entertaining conversation here.
All right, awesome. That's what we are, about inspiration, also entertainment, but also the most is that people find their passion, or they like, all right, so that guy tried this and that worked for him, let me try this as well. Oh, and those are the possible things that might happen if I turn that in my business or in my career. So all right, I can be prepared for it. So this is the main thing, but we will cover everything around it as well. Just like we both like to talk, right?
Yeah.
So you just share with me before we started. You are doing the podcast as well. We are doing podcasts every Monday night. So this is like two guys like to talk together. What can go bad? What can go wrong?
Yeah.
All right, awesome. And I love, man, the sharpness of your camera. I just got to say it. It's like I look like a bimbo next to you, But
Thank
look,
you.
it is
I must say that I have a team around me, prepared everything. That's not my strength.
all right.
And the team are doing great here with me.
Yeah, that is important. But to have a team around you, you got to be a certain type of person. Not everybody can have a team that supports them. So, all right, but let's start with the question, and where we always start, and then it goes how it goes. So, just bring us in, right? Who or how were you, Abdallah Al-Hadidi, as a teenager? Like, what was going on? Like growing up in United Arab Emirates. What were you dealing with? Like, what was really working for you? What wasn't? Like how the school system works there, and how did you, manage all of that?
Yeah. Well, I started where can I start? That's a really deep question. And,
all right, teenager is from 13 years on. If you want to go like from there, or you can go a little bit further back if you find it relevant. So.
Yeah, I will start with a little bit about my childhood, which really affected my teenage age, and my childhood was. I'm the eldest between 9 siblings, so I'm used to be the eldest brother. So like I remember since I started growing up, I took responsibility of my brothers and then sisters. So, and also my father was supporting me a lot. So when we came, we was living in another city, which is very quiet city. My father and mother was working there in Al Ain. Very different than Dubai. Like if you say Dubai, everyone has an image about like how busy is the city. Uh, when we say Al Ain, we grown up my whole childhood, like till 12 years old, I was in Al Ain. So it's very quiet city. I'm the eldest, so mostly my time is with my brothers. Sisters was like very young, so mostly with my brothers and friends. Father and mother, they were working, so and they gave us like a lot of support, education. They care about us. They really care. So this is how I started my life. And then in the teenage, before I go to the teenage also, I started having to, like, I explored many things. Like my father was, both my father and mom, my parents was working, they were working in university, the first university in UAE, which is United Arab Emirates University. So there was resources around me. I was like after school, they were working 2 times, in the morning and evening. So I remember every time I come back from school, we meet at home in the afternoon time, and they go back. Both of them go back to work. So I love going with them. Like I don't remember where my brothers go or where they sit, but I remember going with my mom or with my father. And every time I go, like sometimes I go and play martial arts for a period of time. I explored swimming. I started swimming at age of 6 years old. I explored uh, going to scouting. Like they were like, they call them, don't know what they call them in English, but they are, you know, the university level scouting. And and I was like enjoying going with my father. Of course, I don't sleep overnight there. Yet I stay most of the night. I enjoy really what they do. So here is where I started like exploring the world, and really that is big part of my personality, and big part of my like my life is to be adventurous and go there, explore, and also being with people. I love to be with people, and since that age, I loved being with elder people. Like I always go with people like elder than me, and that gave me courage. That gave me uh, learning. That gave me opportunities for to learn and to have, let's say, like even some people they were looking at me and saying, this poor guy didn't have a childhood. I was like, what do you mean? Like, I played sports, I played everything. I love being with, I love playing even with like elder people. Like I go scouting with them, I play sports. Even I'm the youngest, and there is like a big difference between me and them in age. Yet I play. And then to the teenage space. Again, sorry, I'm going backward and forward. I'm
All
trying
right,
to
it's okay. It's
collect
okay. Just bring us in. You
collect
know,
the
yeah.
the main spots in my childhood. One also of the main spots that were very that like affected me and stayed with me for a long time till now is me having an interest in businesses. And I saw my father also having that interest. So he had a tailoring shop, like our clothes, the traditional clothes shop. So I used also to visit this shop. He had both, one for male, which is the white, and one tailor shop for female. And he used to have also accessories for men. We don't have so much accessories. We have something we put it on our head, which is agar. We have ghitra. So, and he also opened another shop for women, and many other businesses he tried and closed and opened and things. So I started having that interest. And I remember one day, the first experience of like thinking of business. I saw with my mom, this time I was going with my mom to a book fair, and I saw people like writing books and selling books. And I said, oh, that's a good idea. Then I started to think, let me write a book. And then I took pictures of mosques and I put it on the picture. I was like in second year of school, maybe. So I put pictures of mosques around the world and I wrote some words around them. And then I saw the computer, people typing on computer in the 90s. So I said, yeah, let me use their computer. Then I started using their computers to put the pictures and then put a text below it. Anyway, I created a small booklet, printed there in my mom place, a workplace. And then I made a copies of it. And that was like great. And then I thought, how can I sell it? I took literally shelves of onions or potatoes from the kitchen and put it on the street and put my books there. I started standing beside them. Oh, and then I realized that I'm in the wrong market. No one is stopping to buy my books. It was funny, and I remember it now. I say it for my kids and my wife. So yeah, that was a snapshot of my childhood. And then when I started in the teenage era, let's say, the part of being with friends and being with in activities and sports grown like strongly. So I love to be in sports and activities and adventurous sports. So that's grown with me, and I tried scouting, going like traveling. From the age of 15, I started like traveling. I remember saying to my dad, Dad, I want to go on a trip with the school. And he was like, what? Why? We go every year together. Why you want to travel with school? I said, I want to be independent. He was growing me to be independent, and I was taking the advantage and jumping more, jumping to the next level. So I remember saying, I want to go. And he was like, why? And, he was a little bit hesitating. At the same time, they were very, very much understanding and very much open for me to explore the world. And I traveled the first time at 15. And then, like, every year I was traveling, one time with my friends, of course, with a school or with a scouting organization or youth organization, or I travel with them also. And
where did you travel?
Oh, I traveled many places in the world. I started traveling around the countries here in Oman, Qatar, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia. I traveled to Jordan, Lebanon. I went to Egypt. I went to Spain, Holland, France, Germany, UK, Australia, Hong Kong, Singapore, Malaysia.
Damn.
Well,
All that
Canada.
all that in teenage years, or
No,
Oh,
not
okay.
all of that in teenager. In teenage, 25% of where I traveled.
Yeah. All right, nice. You know, when you say So you're living in Saudi Arabia, right? And you say then I went traveling to Lebanon and Jordan and Qatar and Egypt, right? Which is all
Yeah.
around, right? It's just like for us in Slovenia, it's like that we go to Austria, to Italy, you know, the neighbor countries basically,
Yeah.
right? But,
Yeah, the neighbor country.
but then my mind, right? Because how we were taught is down there is only desert, right? More or less, which is not true because when I started the streams back on Twitch like 2 years ago, one guy was there from Saudi Arabia as well in my chat, and he said, "Well, we have snow, we have mountains," and I'm like, "What? In Saudi Arabia you have snow?" I thought it's only desert, right? So for me, it's like, why are you traveling around the desert? What's so interesting in the But it's not. It's just like, you know, we don't know it that early. We know where it is. We know that it is. They taught us that, but we don't know that early. So that's really interesting.
In Saudi Arabia, there is a like city, very very like greenery place where you find it's mountains and greenery. It's called Abha. In Oman, there is Salala. So there is very nice spots.
All right.
Very nice
Awesome.
spots.
Not
So,
just desert and like
no,
Dubai.
no. There is mountains, the sea. I love sea also. I love going like in any sport, any adventurous activity. So I continued exploring the world. And the exploration of like being in travel or being in sport. I did my scuba diving license at 15 years old, and I'm still diving. I love sea sports. I started like fishing at early age, and at the age of also around 13. So yeah, exploration was really big part of my teenage.
And how did you then choose a school? Like, based on what did you choose your high school? Was that just like regular, I don't know how to say, gymnasium is here, which is just a very, how to say, it's not profession orientated school, you know. It's one step that you usually go to this school, then you go to whichever university you want. So
In Sharjah, when I left Al Ain and came to Sharjah, so Sharjah is my city. In Sharjah, there is, when in my age, there was 2-3 options in government school. In the system, we have government school, and we have the private schools. So I went to the government schools. So government schools, there was only 2 options in each, 2 or 3 options maximum in our city. Now there is more variety. So how we choose them, it's basically mainly based on where we live, the closest the school, and then also if there is a preference from our parents, like they know that there is sometimes like a notion of, you know, I don't know how to to name it correctly. You know, there is a lot of gangs,
all right.
sort of, you know, in certain schools, so they avoid taking us there if it is well known as there is like, gangs of, especially like people who don't care about schooling, you know, they are going there to be troublemaker and have fun.
All right.
Mostly, I was fine with any school that my parents chose. So, I went to 2 schools different than my brothers. So my brothers, they always choose to be together, and I chose differently. I don't know why. I don't have a reason now. I remember. Yeah, but I was like always, I choose like being independent and go with the flow. I don't care. I don't want the things to be too much organized or thought of. When I think where I think my parents was doing many of that, caring and thinking. Yeah, so what else in the teenage? Scouting was a big part of my teenage also. We was going in the deserts, since you mentioned deserts. So we was going many camps. We do many camps in the deserts. It is in winter. You cannot believe it. Like I see a lot of my strength and my patience and you know many traits or many personality qualities that I got it from the desert, from the environment. So you imagine yourself in the middle of the desert and it's like totally dark. Like I remember, like it is not easy to be there. Like you feel the quietness, and sometimes like some kids cannot be around this place. It's sometimes scary
Yeah,
to
I
wake
can
in the
imagine.
middle, you know. So and even they were like some so we were making fun also. It was not very funny when you try to scare someone else. But again, yani, it was an experience of being
Yeah.
having fun there, and there is a lot of stories and memories in the desert. Yeah, I sung also. I I sung the traditional songs, and also went into TV. I was a presenter. And these kind of activities I loved more than being being in front of TV or in front of like I didn't watch a lot of cartoons. Like I don't remember. I remember only the basics, and even the people in my age now like asking me, "Do you remember that cartoon?" I'm like, no, I stopped watching TV when I started being teenage, literally, and in that age, I remember after grade 6, 7, like I was not enjoying. I played games, and then also I stopped when I started being in age 12, 13. So yeah, I don't know what is.
So
This is my preference. This is
yeah,
my
what I
preference.
hear is that you were so much adventurous and exploring everything around what lives actually offers, or what are the opportunities out there that had much more, I would say, bring you more aliveness or excitement than watching the TV or playing video games.
Yeah.
Yeah, but all right, couple of questions, right? Before we move on, it's just like how, for us, how it exists. Everybody in Saudi Arabia is rich because you guys have oil.
I'm
So-
not in Saudi Arabia, in
Sorry.
United Arab
Yeah,
Emirates.
my bad.
Our
Yeah.
partner,
Yeah.
our neighbors.
Neighbors. Yeah. Sorry. That is something.
That's why.
Yeah, in United Arab Emirates. So that part, right? The Arabic part of the world, or how to say?
Yeah.
Right.
The Arabic Peninsula, they call
Yeah,
it.
exactly. That everybody is rich because you guys have oil, and then you said, I have 9 siblings, right?
Yeah.
So mother and father working at the university. So just introduce to us. Is that like a middle level there? Is that higher class? Or so we get a perspective on that.
Yeah. We are a middle family. Like we are a middle family, and we grown up. We grown up in a family that maybe middle to upper. Like we went to the upper as the old people here in the country, like my grandfather from both sides, they got advantages of like getting grants and you know, as grants of lands, grants of advantages, on grants of money also, as a support in the establishment of the country. Now there is support, not as it used to be. So like whoever, like a grandfather, have couple of lands or couple of small buildings, you know, it is separated between, like my father have 12 siblings from his side. My mother have 18 siblings, 19
Damn.
siblings.
Dang. That's like that's unimaginable, right? For me, it's like, all right, my grandmother has 9 siblings, so they were a family of 10 kids. And my granddad has 3, and then on my mother's side, it's, I don't know, maybe 2 times 3, 2 times 4. So you know, not everybody has a big family. So
Yeah.
and when you said I have 9, I was like, damn. But then you said on your mother's side you have 18. What?
Yeah.
What's the age difference between the first and the last?
Oh, it's like huge. Like it's
But is the same mother for all of these kids, or not?
from my father's side, one mother, 12. From my mom's side, 2 wives, 2 mothers.
All right.
Yeah. And you know, being a kid in this family, it's of course I learned a lot. Now, inside the family, I'm saying we are middle, upper middle. There is people inside the family who made money, and they started to be rich. Like they own a couple of like large buildings, I mean towers, or let's say multi-level buildings. There are people, and they did it themselves. Like not everyone. Like the salary used to be like large salaries, in a way that, like when you compare it to what you can do, like if you save. I remember my father was telling me about opportunities that he was not aware of. Like he was saying that sometimes if you save for a couple of months, you can buy a land. This is how the salaries was not large in numbers, not large in value. So people made money in that age, because in that period of time, because they were getting salaries, good salaries, and the company was, the country was growing. So there was very many opportunities at the beginning, and there was also support and grants from the country, from the government. Now, coming to the next generation, so you know, my grandfathers like inherited to their kids. So you can imagine, like inherited an amount to a large number of people. So it is still now, whoever is like, there are opportunities there. You can make money, you can grow, you can get good salaries, and it is case by case. It's not all of the country, as some people imagine, are living on gold.
All right.
Yeah. So it's a, like, I see the opportunities still now. It's of course started to get limited, or not limited. Started to get less and less every year or generation. Yet it is available. Yeah.
All right. Still, you could still call it land of opportunities.
Land of opportunities. Yeah. And I would like to say something about being the eldest brother of 9 siblings. This is a big part of my life. Like, I learned how to be big brother from year 1 to, no, from year 2 of my life. And in the teenage, I was in my teenage, I was like, when I was teenager, I was taking care of my brothers. They were closer to me, and then taking care of my sisters. And I remember my father and mother, they were giving me responsibilities, and they sometimes leave home, and my siblings stay with me, or sometimes I really take care of them, going to school, going to activities, sports. So that added a lot of value to my mature Abdullah, and being caring for bigger than myself, and looking for how can I add value to the community that I live in. Yeah.
All right, amazing. All right, next question regarding all of that is, you said, all right, couple of schools, right? You have you had the availability, and parents choose the school, and you said I was fine by it. Did you like, you know what I wanna, like, we know that in your culture, or let's say, I don't know, religion, right? Many things parents choose for you.
Yeah.
And how we see it in our society is that, you know, that is not, you know, those are not parents' choice. It should be what you want as a kid, right? It should be your choice. So how do you see that, or how did you dealt with that while growing up, and how do you see it now?
Well, I think there are two directions, or two, let's say, like, my experience, of course, with the limited choices, it is not directed by religion or by culture that parents choose. Yes,
All right.
there is a percentage of parents, they, from taking care of their kids, they choose on, like, instead of giving the choice to their kids, so they choose on their behalf. Now, I remember my father, my parents gave me the choice. They told me, do you want to go to government school? Now, government school, there were a lot of there is an opportunity to make friends from the community, like, so from the neighborhood. So I loved that, so I choose that. Or to go to a private school. Some private schools was like away from me, so I don't know who I will meet there. So and the good thing in that private school, that I will learn English. So I didn't study English as much as my brothers and sisters do at school. Yet I'm speaking English maybe now. I think I'm the best between them. so yeah. So it's not, it's being an English speaker, like being, you know, putting yourself there.
Yeah.
So there was choices, and I remember my father also gave me another choice, which is out of the box. Like, I love what my father created for me from opportunities. He was very supportive. He was very close to all of us, especially me. I'm the eldest. So he told me, Abdullah, what do you think? You go to this Indian private school. So in the country, because we are, you know, multicultural country, so there are group of people who live with us, like Indian people, and they have their own private schools. So he was suggesting that I go to Indian private school, so I will learn very good English. They teach English very, like, strongly, and I will learn Urdu, which is one of the main, like, Indian languages common between Pakistan, India, and others.